Good morning. Happy Monday. Okay, I hope you can hear me. I don't have my microphone in my whole get up here, but I'm at my parents' house in Asheville and it's raining outside. And I thought, my son's sleeping in, everybody's sleeping in. We're getting ready to head home to after a long week of celebrating my birthday. And it's my actually belly button birthday. I said with my belly button birthday, I'm another year older, but with my sober birthday, I'm another year wiser. So I'll take my sober birthday over my belly button birthday. Anywho, yeah, and get to celebrate Father's Day as well, which is nice. So I was thinking about the message today, and I know it's a beautiful rainstorm going on right now behind me. And this week, my son is at that age. He's 16, and he's trying to kind of figure things out, what he wants to do, where he wants to go, and kind of, we all kind of go through that stage at 16 where, what am I going to do? How am I going to change the world? I got to do, what's my purpose? And it's not always easy. And he had a rough go, and he was in tears on the other night, and I went in and I was like, I had a talk with him, and I was like, what's going on? And he said, he was just having trouble doing that, being a 16-year-old trying to figure things out. And I helped him as best I could. I can only do so much, he's got to go through what he's got to go through. So I went on a walk, and in the beautiful nature, and I started thinking about, talking to God, thinking about this whole thing. And the fact that it's raining is a perfect example. Um, in order to grow, things need both water and sunlight. It can't it can't do it without both. So the fact that he had to, have a little water in order to get some sunlight, that's okay. It's part of the process. And my thing is, I've got to stop panicking every time my son is, in having feelings. Because, recognizing feelings are perfectly normal, healthy, and good, especially at that age. I do have to keep an eye just to make sure, it doesn't go down a dark, dark path. But he, unlike his mother, is not, doesn't look towards, I sought out alcohol for myself, not so much drugs. I never really was that much into drugs, but alcohol was my thing. So I sought that to help me kind of feel better. So luckily I've done the work on myself. I can guide him to the answer that I know gives relief, and that's spiritual relief. And that's a good strong spiritual foundation is so key to this thing called life. Um, when he was a baby, we bought those like books, how to parent and this, that, the other. And this one told us, you're gonna have to lay him in the crib, and you're gonna have to let him cry it out so he can learn how to self-soothe. So we're like, oh boy, I don't know, because the minute he would cry, I'd pick him up and okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, and then he'd go back to sleep, and then 5 minutes later, pick him up, okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And I was constantly going through that. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Go to sleep. I need to go to sleep. So in order for our sanity, we had to try to give it a go. And so we sat there. I remember me and my husband sitting there and put him in the room, shut the door, and just let him cry. And it was hard. Oh, any parents who have ever done this know exactly what I'm talking about. It is not easy because your kid cries bloody murder, like and you want to go back and so bad and pick up the baby, but you got to let him go through what he's got to go through so he can learn to self-soothe. And if I keep picking him up and comforting him, that's breaking the process that he needs to learn. So eventually I was watching him cry, listening to him cry, and praying and doing everything, and sure that everything was going to be horrible, And I was I was labeling myself this terrible parent. What am I doing? How is this supposed to work? And next thing I know, silence. And me and my husband were like, Is he okay? Because it was like complete silence. We're like, uh-oh. And we looked at the baby monitor, fast asleep, just fast asleep, and not a care in the world. I was like, oh my gosh, well, that's great. And then we put him down the next night, and he went right to sleep. And I didn't have to pick him up constantly. Oh, it's okay, it's okay. You know, that was the beauty of it, you know. And I think back to that now. It's kind of like having to kind of go through it now again, you know, the cry it out method, of letting him learn. You know, that's how he had to learn how to self-soothe, because I kept picking him up and breaking the process. And I would have been doing that the rest of my life. I still am kind of doing that, picking him up, you know, stop the crying. I got to let him kind of go through his own process and work through what he's got to work through. And, you know, so that's my message to you today, especially you parents out there, because I know it's a struggle sometimes with us parents. You know, we don't know. It's a fine line to, you know, where does parenting, where do we let it go, let God handle things, and where do we need to step in and really take action. And, you know, so by stepping back, trusting God, and knowing that he's going through his process, and if he's going to have to cry sometimes, that's okay. He's probably going to hate. Don't tell him. If you see him, don't tell him that I said he was crying, because he won't like that. But it's. I think it's important to share that, just because it's such an important message. Sometimes you got to cry it out. Sometimes you just got to cry it out to learn. And, you know, honestly, my biggest lessons I learned in life all came, and who defined who I am, I had to seriously cry it out. Everything from getting sober to getting out of a bad relationship, you know, all kinds of stuff. All had this, I had to cry it out. I had to cry it out. So cry it out. Cry it out, baby. You know, learn, grow. Remember, it's just like the rain. You need both water and sunshine to grow. So don't be afraid of the water. Don't be afraid of the water. But don't live in the water. Remember, you need that sunshine too. So seek the sunshine, but it's okay to have a little water in the process. All right. I hope this helps you. I hope you have a wonderful Monday week. And from Asheville, raining, which is actually very beautiful and peaceful. Have a wonderful week. And if you like these, subscribe. We'll see you next week for another Monday Message. Oh, actually, I won't be seeing you. I'm going to be in Ireland for a couple of weeks. So I'll see you in a few weeks. Have a wonderful time, though. We'll talk to you later. Bye.